Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another amazing episode of the Great Debaters Contest. This is Season 9, Nairobi region. I am your host, Esperancia Kapanga.
And I am Chris Boru. The motion being debated in this debate is, gender is a determinant on how we save.
In the proposition, we have the gentlemen from Apostle of Jesus Seminary.
In the opposition, we have the ladies from Karima Girls High School. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes to make a statement.
In a family, the father has 4,000 shillings and the mother has 10,000 shillings. How much money does that family have? That family has 4,000 shillings. It is I, Patrick Moneki, from the AJ Seminary, proposing on the motion that gender is a determinant on how we save. What is gender? Gender is a fact of being male or female, especially when considered with reference to social and cultural differences and not differences in biology. A determinant is a factor which decisively affects the outcome of something, and saving is to keep for future use. To my first point, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if any, culturally, men are expected to provide for the family compared to women, generally speaking. All women in the house can confirm that they would want their man to be a real mwanaume. A good example is the novel that most of us have already read, Blossoms of the Savannah by Ole Kulet. Our guy, Pasimei Ole Kaelo, is expected to take care of his family when all goes wrong, indicating that strongly gender is a determinant on how we save. And now for a practical example, we're all high schoolers here. In my family, I am the only child and the only boy. And purely coincidental, my neighbor is the only daughter in their home. On our back-to-school expenditure, I spend averagely 2,300 based on what I need, and she uses 4,600 based on what she needs, not forgetting makeup, the Q-Tex, and her lip balm. On the same day, I go to the barber for 50 shillings, and I spend only 15 minutes to get my hair trimmed. And she goes to the salon for braids worth 700 and spends there 3 hours. I have saved time and 650 shillings, which I'd have used as my pocket money, which proves that, yes, gender is a determinant on how we save. According to a research by Wells Fargo Korea, 61% of millennial men save compared to 51% of the millennial women. And these savings are in form of insurance policies, trust funds, and emergency funds. And also, from another research by Fidelity Investments, the women earn 77 cents, and the men earn $1 a day. The women save more because they have prospects for the future, while the men tend to save less because they have to provide for the family, or simply because they have to. Traditionally, men have been the sole providers in the family, as you're taught in the Kenyan syllabus, Form 4 CRE, on traditional African understanding of the syllabus. That tendency in marriage is still existent in modern marriages, as the same source explains. This makes the husband income the families, which proves that, yes, gender is a determinant on how we save. Thank you.
First opposer, you have 3 minutes to make a statement.
Savings is one's personal decision to postpone on spending. I today can choose to walk on foot so that I can buy a limousine tomorrow. I can choose to eat githeri today so that tomorrow, of course, I can take a plate of pizza. Cynthia Wanini Karima girls here to strongly oppose this motion that states gender is a determinant in savings. What is gender? Gender is, by the way, the state of being male or female, simple, or even transgender, subject to confirmation, by the way. As I had said earlier, savings is one's personal decision to postpone on your spendings. Look, for instance, all of us have choices to make in life. We choose the lifestyles that we live. there are two people who can be earning the same amount of money, like let's say 20,000 shillings. And these two people have different choices and opinions on the houses they would like to live in. A report, by the way, according to a report from the Daily Nation on May 2017, it revealed that in Umoja, for you to live in a one-bedroom house, you have to pay close to 5,000 shillings. And for you to live also in Sabasaba, in Kibera slums, you can pay the same bedroom, one-bedroom house, at close to 2,000 shillings. So if one of these persons who earns 20,000 shillings chooses this house in Umoja, and the other person chooses this house in Sabasaba, they are obviously going to have disparities on the amount of money that they are going to set aside for savings. How surely is that related to gender? There is a man who lives in Umoja. There is a man who lives in Sabasaba. Leave that alone. The level of income or the amount of income one earns. A report revealed by the USAID stated that an average Kenyan earns close to $2 a day. That is approximately 200 Kenya shillings a day. As we speak right now, there's a lot of weather change where we are experiencing rains. And as we know, as the culture of Kenyans, the prices are always hyped. The fare prices are always hyped. So I can pay up to a maximum of 100 shillings or even more on just fare. For that one day I have earned just 200 Kenya shillings. I also need to eat. I also need to clothe myself. My children also need to go to school. This has hence led to people in Kenya to go on to look for loans that are easily accessible, by the way, even on our phones. They have rent loans which are easily accessible. They have rent to betting, which is also so that they can at least earn more living, earn an extra coin apart from what they are earning at the moment. So I don't really think that gender is a determinant on the amount of money that we save.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Some still say Snow White. But, my dear gentlemen, can attribute to the fact that these ladies here are indeed the fairest of them all. My name is Ryan Daniel from the AJ Seminary, standing firmly to propose the motion, gender is a determinant on how we save. Okay, Githeri, Pizza, Umoja, Sabasaba, you are free to make your choice. Indeed, it's yours. But you aren't free from the circumstances of the consequences. How many of you know Geopol Kenya? According to Geopol Kenya, they conducted a research. And chamas, circles are female-dominated. This spearheads female dominance in savings. That is why chamas like vyama vya wanawake, maendeleo ya wanawake, and the famously government created women's funds was created. This is because gender is a determinant on how we save. Now to my second point. Research from the World Bank. Policy research report on gender and development clearly states that women are likely to outlive their male counterparts. This propels them to save more at higher rates. Now, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, please do not compare the life expectancy rate of a female and a male. The female live longer, hence they save more. The males live for less, hence they save little.
Now, also, according to the World Bank research, it further states that women are more risk aware. We all know ladies are more risk aware. Yes? The gentlemen take the risks. Hence, women respond to risks. That is why they save. And that is why gender is a clear determinant on how we save. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me capture your attention by using the president of Estonia. We all know her, Kali. Really? Oh, yes. Kali. Apart from her beauty, she has features in her wardrobe that no other political ally can ever have. She wears different clothes to different countries, of which are colors of those countries. Now, what I'm trying to say is that the ladies tend to spend more time in the shower and dressing. Hence, they save less time. We're not talking about money, we're just talking about the time. So, ladies and gentlemen, gender is a determinant on how we save. Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
Culturally speaking, men are more respected. For one to be a real mwanaume, you must be providing for your family. So therefore, women save more because they do not provide for men. We are living in the 21st century. We have single ladies. We have ladies who are entrepreneurs. So, do we actually call these ladies real wanaume because they provide for their families? We do have ladies who are entrepreneurs in big farms. We have our first lady. Would we really address her as such? We are actually living in the 21st century where there's SDGs. And according to SDG number 5, where we have gender equality, how are we trying to equalize the gender by actually discriminating how men and women save in terms of their provision? When you say that a lady spends on makeup, on their nail polish, on their wardrobes, is that common to every single lady? Is that common to in all levels? Because we have a lot of Kenyans living below the poverty line. Currently, in Kenya, 42% of Kenyans live below the poverty line. That is 44 million, according to the World Bank statistics. Now, currently, the 44 million citizens, how do we actually account for them in their saving? When you say that men spend more because they provide and they have to spend, I do not actually understand that, because there are also single women in the country and they also strive to provide for their families. I'd also like to say that, as my friend said, that that saving is actually foregoing something for the sake of another. I'd actually like to give an example on saving in terms of water resources. We can actually use simple but effective solutions to water wastage. In Australia, there was a drought from 1997 to 2000. This actually made Australia turn to better water-saving methods, like drilling deep wells and actually desalinating seawater for the sake of domestic use. They also used drip irrigation that saved them 75% of the water that saved them from 75% loss of water. This is according to Relief Web International. My name is Sarah Njoki, Karima Girls.
The proposals have been asked. With regards to shopping, while they're going back to boarding school, when you compare boys and girls, the girls do shopping that is more expensive because they're allowed to buy makeup. And so they're asked to give evidence of schools that allow this. The opposers, on the other hand, have been asked, what is a realistic budget and its relation to gender? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Does gender affect the way we save? I, Isaiah Collins, from the AJ Seminary, are the only one you're supposed to hear for your answer. First of all, I'd like to answer the questions posed to me by the audience, the girl from Riara School there. You said that which institutions allow makeup? Where have you forgotten the universities? Universities like University of Nairobi, both men and women, young alike, go there and they use makeup. To go on to my first point, there is dowry. In the dowry, the man or the woman, like the woman pays the dowry in India. The woman is supposed to give the prizes like money, wealth, cows, TV, sofa set to the man's family in order for them to get married. The families that pay the dowry use their savings to buy expensive things like that in order to make the families of the spouses happy. And in that, the gender of the woman or the gender of the man affects the way his family saves. From the AJ Seminary, I'm Isaiah Collins. Gender is a determinant on how we save? Absolutely.
Third opposer, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Does gender equality determine on how we save? No, it does not determine on how we save. To a question that was asked from the audience, asking us to verify the information about 2009 to 2019, I mean, your information is based on 10 years back. People update the internet. You can't base your statistics on something that was written 10 years back. Do you want to tell me that people don't give birth? The birth rate is so high that that information is invalid. And realistic budget. Well, since you've not defined if it's realistic budget to the government or to the common mwananchi, I'll use this. An average Kenyan earning 100,000 shillings has to take care of transport, health, education, food, etc. Then, the taxes. There are so many taxes. Just the other day, there was a 1% value for housing. Taxes on marriage, pay as you earn, VAT, NHIF, so many things are leading to the decline of the culture of saving. And you don't want to tell me that you will walk in a supermarket wanting to buy a loaf of bread and have it sold to you for 100 shillings, while I will walk in to buy a loaf of bread and have it sold to me at 50 shillings. Is that being realistic? No. If I want to use transport, we are using the same resources. The cost of living cuts across both genders. And my dear, makeup is not for both male and female. Makeup is for female alone. So when you say that people in Nairobi University, both male and female, use makeup, I think that's very invalid. And the level of saving actually achieved by anyone represents the outcome of the conflict between their desire to improve their current standard of living and their desire to obtain a good welfare in the future. As my teammate has said, I might decide to work today so that I can buy a Lamborghini in 10 years. That doesn't necessarily mean that a woman will save more. I mean, the price of a Lamborghini is the same. So you won't tell me that I will save so that I can buy a Lamborghini, for example, for 12 million shillings, while a man will buy it at 15 million shillings. That is wrong. On to my next point. The Finance Cabinet Secretary, Henry Rotich, says that all Kenyans in the country only save 12% of their earnings. This is very little, even for the support of the economy and their own support. Because why is this so little? Because the expenditure of every mwananchi, as the politicians call them, common mwananchi, is affected by the rise of rates of inflation. Because I am a lady won't mean that I will be taxed or the inflation will be lower for me. It will be equal, whether you're male, female, trans, not yet confirmed. Thank you. Sheila Kavenyamuli, thank you very much.
Proposition, you have 1 minute for your final submission.
So, you say that there are no male people who use makeup. Well, my friend Google over here disagrees with you. There are male artists that use makeup, FYI. In my final comments, I'd like to tell you that the genders, male and female, you are not supposed to compete over each other. And that's a stand that you have taken as the opposers, as the proposers. Male and female, according to the natural law, we are supposed to complement each other in nature so that whenever we cannot have complete happiness like males, the females can help us to complete our happiness. A wise man once said, the oxygen molecule is O2, one for you and one for me.
Opposition, you have 1 minute for your final submission.
Besides gender, there are many determiners on how we save, on land, on water, and in resources. One, among others, is foreign debt, where when our foreign debt is high, the government will have to lower their savings in order to incur the cost of paying back the debts. Like I said in Australia, where there was a case of effecting better water-saving method, this cut across both genders because all citizens took part in this project to conserve water, because irrigation systems are not limited to males and they're not limited to females, because all of us have to contribute for the sakes of our economies. Again, in the UK, an example, they raised a gender-level pension where both males and females will be retiring at 66 years, and they will be earning pension, and they will also be taxed at the same rate. This is according to the UK government. My friends, we have taxes: income tax, advance tax, VAT, residential tax, excise duty, capital gains tax. We all need to cater for this. And because life is precious to all of us, we both need to save it, whether male or female. Thank you.
The Apostles of Jesus Seminary. You know, the first speaker and the second speaker, and I must say this in a way not to hit you very hard, Collins, okay? It's just to tell you that sometimes when you become a bit casual, it can be a detriment to the team as well, okay? When you come and say words like, you know, FYI and the likes, and also utilize only 1 minute 30 seconds, it means the whole 1 minute 30 seconds was left. And so that was a detriment big time to the team. Why am I saying this to you? Because you have the potential, okay? The fact that you can come to the stage and capture people's attention, it means that you have that potential. So you just need to work on those small gnats and tighten them, okay? Then you'll become a greater speaker. Why I'm saying that is because Patrick and Ryan did a great job. Patrick came over, from the literature that you used to support your statements. I thought you would just have left statements hanging, but you even used literature to really bring it in. And I think that meant that you were read. So that's a good way to start your team. Rayan as well came in, and he had very punchy arguments as well, and a cross-examination. I felt like you were a teacher, in a way, when you came to sit there and really tell us a lot of things, in a way. And that was very good.
Wanini, thank you for doing proper definition. You are quite passionate and convincing, but you also seem to have too much to say within 3 minutes. Next time, try to moderate your speech. Maybe you time yourself in advance so that you don't use up almost 4 minutes. That was not very good. Saranjoki, I love your composure. Add more life to it. Just look more lively. But you really communicated. That is the truth. Sheila, you answered the question quite well, and you seemed to have understood the motion quite well. Actually, you really took your team up from where Sarah had left, and that was good and powerful finishing. Today we'll go home with this statement. Oxygen molecule is O2. One for you, one for me. That is quite interesting. Thank you.
And now to determine who's the greater debater in this motion. Apostle of Jesus Seminary, the judges awarded you 68%. Let's give them a round of applause. Karima Girls High School, the judges awarded you 70%. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations to both teams for giving us an amazing debate.
Esteemed audience, thank you for staying tuned to watch the Great Debaters contest, where the debate is hotter by the day. Remember, the hashtag is GDC for SDGs. Stay tuned for the next episode. I've been your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperancia Kapanga. Catch you next time.